Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the 212A, it's the Tier 9 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Malinovka, and it's under the command of Appa561. Game on! Okay, well, this was sent in earlier today, and yes, I'm afraid Appa didn't have much to say about his team because they weren't very good. You'll get to see that in a short while, unfortunately. Yes, whilst Appa was proving how really good he is at Arty, the rest of his team were rather, well, lackluster, and blaming him for a very bad performance, which he wasn't actually performing badly at all. He was performing very well indeed, but his teammates weren't. Oh well, let's have a look and see what actually happens in the battle. He's got the big 203mm howitzer ready for rock and roll, and he's aiming towards the enemy, but he's actually aiming down the other end of the map. The enemy did manage to get a G-Saw light tank into the corner on the ramp. Look at that first hit on a Kampfpanzer III. He got a hit, that's the new tank, and he's just hit him for 382 hit points, and now it looks like he's a one-shot. So with his first shot of the game, he gets damage. Now it looks like that enemy Kampfpanzer managed to get a shot and kill our Centurion Action 10. We've landed in a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it. Looks like shots are going in that direction. He's pulled back a little. Oh, he got a kill. Yes, he's got the Kampfpanzer III. Okay, so he's got a kill already. In fact, first kill on his team. The enemy, though, they've already got a kill and they've taken out our Kampfpanzer III. So neither team... Oh, no, they took out our Centurion Action 10. Sorry, I got that wrong. Okay, well, there's a number of enemy tanks there just down at the base of the hill near the trees. It's not the base of the hill, but it's the base of the heights of the hill. Doesn't look like they want to go up on top of the hill, which is going to force our guys to try and shoot at them from the top. And that can cause problems. Oh, a mouse has decided to come up the hill. Rounds out. Lovely hit. Right into the side of the mouse for 337. And yes, that mouse got stunned. Unfortunately, we didn't pick up any stun assist off that shot from one of our teammates. But the Martian's had second thoughts. He's pulling away. Yes, I think that hit from the Arty really did make that Martian think twice about going up. Okay. Appa's getting ready for his next round. That might land behind the mouse. Yes, it did. You need to give a bit of lead. Okay, we've got a Type 5 Heavy who's being very hesitant about going up the hill. He's moving about a lot. Standard reload for this Arty is 37.39 seconds. Appa's probably got a reload time of about 30 or slightly more. Just check on that in a second. 31.78, so I was about right. Okay, we've got a 263. Rounds out him. Unfortunately, it landed far enough away from the Type 5 and the 263 that shell didn't do any good at all. And you can see all their tanks are falling back behind the trees again. So this is where it really does help for Appa to keep firing those rounds in. And we're getting a request for fire on the Bosch 155. Now that shot just came in from the other Arty on our team, which is a Conqueror gun carriage, because he stunned a lot of them. And Appa's about to fire one in, and yep, direct hit on the Martian on his rear, 369, and that gives the Conqueror gun carriage a bit of stun assist. Okay, when you get lots of enemy tanks bunched together, it means you can get multiple stuns with each shot. The Martian hasn't gone away. The Foch is moving towards the rock. Unfortunately, though, we've lost all our sight of all the enemy up there. And luckily, they've got them back. Line up the shot, work out where they're going. Okay, that looks about there. Fires the round in. And unfortunately, no joy. I would have fired it exactly the same spot. Right, now, a Char Future 4 was seen on the lookout hill, F7. But this is the more important bunch of enemy tanks at the moment because they're opposing our guys. So we really need to keep the pressure on them, keep them stunned. Now, they've almost run out of stun. He's basing this shot on where the mouse was last seen. He's loaded. Fires the round in. Unfortunately, we don't see if that actually did any damage or any stun at all because our teammates have lost contact with the enemy. And I think I can now see why Appa was having such a terrible game as far as getting assists, because his teammates aren't shooting at the enemy. He's stunning them, he's firing the rounds in, but the enemy are, well, hiding. Fires one at the lookout. You can see the enemy Arty firing up the hill. And now we've got a 60 TP in sight as well. He's taking damage. I think that's coming in from the Strip 103B. That's all the other tanks. Under these circumstances, tactically, the guys on top of the hill should actually turn around and come back down the other side, because I'm afraid the enemy are playing to their strengths. They're forcing our team to try and advance towards them. That's a good hit. 182, 89 stun assist, and the 60 TP's out of the game. That was a good shot. We've seen the Char Future 4 now. He was actually over the other side of the bushes. We're lining up a shot. He looks like he's going to go back to the same spot there in the corner. But yes, adjust it a little way over. That looks about right. Rounds out. Looks about the right place. Both Artys aim for the same spot. So, yes, more than likely he was there. Now, remember, I said at the start of the battle that Appa had a really good game, but the rest of his team didn't. They're one up on the enemy at the moment, but they're refusing to come down from the top of the hill, and with good reason, because there's a large number of enemy tanks here, and it would be just trying to glide into the jaws of the enemy. The best way they could actually get down from the hill is to try and slide down the side of the cliff, and then approach the enemy from the blind side. And there you can see he hit two tanks with one shot there. You've got the 263 and the Malshan, and both of them for over 300 hit points apiece. So he's up to 2,000 hit points already. Type 5 almost seemed to be dawdling just to probably write a message in chat. Almost ready. Rounds out straight away. Yep, that's a good shot. 298 off the Type 5, and he stunned two enemy tanks. And you can see some shells are zipping in from our side of the map. That Foch 155 looks to be a prime target. I can see why Appa chose him as his next target. Mainly because he's an autoloader, but also because he's got weak armor on the sides, which of course makes him a prime target. Rounds out straight away. Looks good. It is! 453 hit points from that shot alone. And you can see those shells zipping in every now and then. We've got tank destroyers nearby, so that's where those shells are coming from. Okay, looking elsewhere at the moment, there's a T110E4 and a T30 down near the cap area of the enemy team. Can't get a shot on the T30 because he's behind the house. The E4 is a little further on. We've managed to get a T54 lightweight into position, That shell's not going to do anything. The best place for him to put the shells at this moment is up on this hill. And we're now 3 down on the enemy. Just waiting for the reload to come in. Oh, now this could be good. If the Type 5 went past the Martian, or the mouse rather, he might be able to get 2 at once. But, oh, there's the Foch. Okay, he's dialing in on that guy instead. Rounds out on him. Oh, another hit. 318 from a splash alone. So now he's up to 3,000 hit points of damage. So you can see this will be a good game for anyone. I don't know if you've also been watching chat as well. Yes, the T-54 lightweight's decided he's not getting anywhere, so he's going to retreat back to his side of the battlefield. So he's given up on this game. Rounds out the mouse. It did get some stun, but not damage. We're 2 down on the enemy now. Going back to the mouse. Still fairly healthy. And he's just taken a hit from the Conqueror gun carriage, but we're going to fire him. And that gives the Conqueror gun carriage 204 hit points of stun assist by landing one on his side, and the mouse has been forced to pull back. Force the Type 5 to pull back as well. That'll allow our guys to move forward. In the meantime, though, the Martian's popped up again. And the Martian just killed our Panzerkampfwagen 7. Going for the Type 5. Rounds out. Should be a hit. We're 3 down on the enemy now. Most of our tanks are up on the hill. We've got nobody down in the field area other than the Foch B, which means that the enemy could try and make a run to our cap, and we've got nobody to protect it, which is why I said that these guys should have actually relocated and gone back to their own side of the battlefield. The Conqueror gun carriages decided to go up on top of the hill, and that's a direct hit on the mouse. At least I think it was the mouse. And the E4 is now getting involved in the battle. Our Striv has moved down to the spotting hill, but he is putting rounds into the E4, but he's badly wounded, so he might go out the game. In fact, he has. The E4 just got him. Okay. And the E4 looks as if he's about to come our way. Rounds out. That's just in front of him. 2-minute warning. We're 5 down on the enemy now. We've still got 4 tanks up on the hill. Only the Foch B guarding our cap area. And now we know that the Char Future 4 on the enemy team is nearby. This is not going well. And we can't see the Char Future 4 now. And oh no, we've got a Hori 3, the Japanese tank destroyer, coming in from the ramp. And he's just wiped out our Foch. Lead the target, rounds out. Well, 275 hit points, but there's only 4 left on our team. And I think we're about to die because the enemy T-30 is heading straight for us. Well, he's headed straight for the cap as well, but the Hori's going for us. And of course, he has a reason to attack us because, of course, we've just taken some of his hit points. And I don't think we're going to get another chance to fire, but if we do, we'll probably hit the T-30 in the process. Well, that was the T-54 lightweight dying. And the T-30 got us before we could shoot. And there's only 1 tank left now. It's the Conqueror gun carriage. He's just a little way up the hill. But I don't think he's going to survive very long because the Hori 3's moving in. And he'll be one-shotted. Well, he's hiding. And they've capped out. And that's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats. That was the third-class tanker for Appa561 in the 212A. He managed to get a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. And he got a gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And his win rate from that game was 4,055. Yes, Super Unicum standard level. But he wasn't particularly liked by his team. Yes, they referred to him by this word. I'm not going to say that word myself. But that's not very nice because he was the best player on his team by a long way. Let's have a look at team score. Yes, I'm afraid it's the highest damage in the game was the Hori 3, 4,363 hit points. But the second highest damage was Appa561 with 4,213. And the third highest damage, well, that went to the Object 261 on the enemy team, who got a Confederate for 3,519 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, it was the T30 on the enemy team, the guy who killed Appa, who got the highest number with 3. 2 kills went to the BZ68 and also to the E4. Appa only got the 1 kill out of that game. But when it came to base XP, it was the BZ68 who got the best with 1,026. He was the only one to get over 1,000. 892 went to the Charfuture 4 and 851 went to the T30. And look at this, Appa got the highest base XP on his team. So he not only got the highest damage on his team, the highest base XP as well. And yet he was chided by his team. So yes, it just goes to show that you can be the best player around and you can still be treated by your team as terrible simply because you happen to be an Arty. He fired 22 rounds in that game. Well, it did go down almost to the wire. 9 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, but 29 splash. Damage of 4,213 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the enemy. 1 was a penetration, 1 was a hit by way of splash as well. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed, 89 hit points of stun assist off 22 stuns. So yes, no stun assist in this game. His teammates were not helping him. He was stunning the enemy, but I'm afraid his teammates weren't giving him any chance to get a first class or even an ace mastery, even though he was getting so much damage on the enemy, a huge amount of damage. When it came to credits, he actually made a loss out of this game, 8,686, and the main reason for that was the sheer amount of ammunition he fired. I mean, he did fire a lot. If he'd actually got the stun assist, the credits would have been higher and he would have come out with a profit. He also got 1,020 XP as well out of the game, but it just goes to show Arty is very underappreciated by their own team most of the time, and you can do incredibly well and get a really good medal, but then you don't win the game because your teammates are just not shooting the enemy tanks that you're stunning. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.